process of separation late last year at her request. The living situation has become very challenging. Some basic info. My wife and I have been married for close to 7 years in CA. We are in our late 30s. She has decided that she wants to find out who she is away from me and wants to divorce to start over, and maybe we will find each other again. She feels since I have always given her everything, she has become useless as a human and can't contribute to our relationship. She says she still loves and respects me but wants more from our relationship and from herself. We have no children. I don't want a divorce, but she is pretty determined at this point. I have always been the primary breadwinner of the household and support her in any endeavors she pursues. From photography, painting, design, plants, etc. She was always trying to find a new path. She works odd jobs at this point and brings in maybe less than 10K to the household per year. When we got together, she was burnt out on a career and started trying to find a new path. She has made it clear she doesn't want anything from our assets as it would be stealing my effort. We own 4 properties, 2 cars, paid off, about 600K plus in investments, no debt other than mortgages. I've brought this up multiple times that we can divvy out our assets to get her started, but she is very against it. Her family is fairly wealthy from outside the USA and she wouldn't have trouble getting decent financial support from them. Her therapist convinced her to do a trial separation before committing to divorce. When we started the separation process, it was very difficult to be in the same house together. She said she wanted to move out and I supported her in that. The primary issue is she doesn't have much money, $500 in her private checking, so I told her she could have whatever she wanted. We had over 80K in our saving at the time and said she could get started with that. She refused. She said the money was my effort and it would be stealing. Despite my efforts of telling her it's our money and not my money, she continued to decline. I said that I could loan her the money, but she refused and said I was manipulating her to take money and would have more control over her. She said she wanted to save up and move out. My heart was breaking every day staying in the house. While not working, I would just lay in bed and cry. I decided to stay with family in Indiana for a while. She was upset by this as she said she was the one that was supposed to leave the house. I told her she wasn't making progress quick enough to move out and I needed to leave because I was really sad/depressed. While I was visiting family, I made the decision to buy a very small condo close to my family. I figured I could live closer to family and she could stay in the current house until she was ready to figure out what she wanted to do. I consulted her about me moving. At first she was supportive of this but was still upset that she would stay in the house and rely on me to pay the mortgage. I offered money again and told her to set all the terms but was just met with hostility. She told me I was being controlling and manipulative. When I asked her to clarify how she viewed I was doing that or I would express that was not my intention, she would get more upset. Things just remained static for some time. A couple weeks ago I came back to our house to pack the remainder of my belonging. Our relationship seemed to be doing well and even seemed like we might pull through that. Then she just broke down tonight. She said it's not fair that I have money and can move away, that I'm disrespectful towards her, that I can just throw money around and go have fun. I said I didn't view moving as fun and starting in a new city where I have very few connection is going to be difficult for me. I told her I wasn't trying to be disrespectful and asked how I can support or what are some options we can move forward with. She just kept coming back to how angry she is with me. I figured maybe she was just really upset and just needed to vent. So I just did my best to listen and empathize with her viewpoint. After her attacks started to get more personal/mean, I asked her what my options are. She yelled at me saying that she doesn't care about my options. It's her options she's concerned about and she feels like she doesn't have any. So she is angry at me and calling me an asshole for moving while she feels stuck. After that portion of conversation, she told me she just wants to cry in peace and wishes she could go get a hotel for the night. I offered that I could leave to stay somewhere else for the night or pay for her hotel. She started yelling at me that I'm an asshole, that I'm trying to steal her wish of staying at a hotel. She started saying some pretty mean things and I didn't like how she was treating me, name calling, so I told her I was going for a walk. She mockingly told me to go stay at a hotel and have fun. I walked to a diner to have a cup of coffee and read a book. She called me about an hour later asking where I was. I told her and she responded, "So are you spending the night there?" "I'm going to bed," and then hung up. That was around 8:45 p.m. I walked back to the house and she went to bed when I got home. Am I doing something wrong by moving? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. AITA? Edit. Thanks for all the support and feedback so far. Just a note on mental health and therapy. My wife was recently diagnosed to have bipolar 2. She is very skeptical of the diagnosis and refuses medication. I haven't done well in understanding this mental health issue. We started marriage therapy in November but only lasted a few sessions. She said the therapist took my side too much. Managed to convince her to do individual therapy. She told me recently that she might not go anymore. My wife had tried a variety of therapists in our years together but usually stops after a month or two because she thinks they are dumb.